what's up? This is Shay Rodriguez, and you're listening to Goals, the podcast for the dream chaser, risk taker, and goal getter in you. Haven't done that in a while. Feels weird. Today, I have a special guest. He is an entrepreneur, a producer, and I've finally gotten a hold of him because I've been trying to land this interview for literally like 9 to 12 months. Not gonna lie to you. So I'm super excited. Kellon, introduce yourself.
Hey, how you doing? Kellon Akeem here, as she said, producer and entrepreneur.
Yes. Kellon, so if you could categorize yourself right now at this time in your career as a dream chaser, a risk taker, or a goal getter, what would you say you are?
In business, you gotta be a little bit of all three.
Okay, but you can only pick one. I know.
I know, but you really gotta be like.
No.
In each, especially with the amount of things that I do, you really do.
Okay, so why?
I mean, you gotta chase a dream. Naturally, nobody wakes up and just know that they're going to succeed.
True.
You know, you make a plan, and that plan is based on your dream.
Mm-hmm.
So you chase your dream.
Okay.
In business, you know, you're constantly taking a risk.
Yeah.
If you don't take risk, you don't have a reward. So I got to make sure that the reward is there to be able to keep things afloat.
Very true.
And then the other one was goal getter.
Yeah, goal getter. Do you set a lot of goals?
I set daily goals, and I'm getting them as we speak.
Okay, we'll get into that a little more later. But I want to talk about your barbershop.
All right.
Which is where I ran into you indirectly. You were going there. So tell me a little bit about your barbershop, the Musa Layer, and why you decided to go into that as a business venture.
I originally started off in software. You know,
Variant Solutions, right?
Variant software,
yeah.
Variant consulting, whichever one you want to call it. But I did pretty well. So when you do well, around December, you gotta make a purchase to make sure that your taxes make sense.
Okay.
So I was, people were telling me you should do real estate, you should do XYZ, and I mean, in the barbershop, you meet people nonstop. I can get unlimited free haircuts. I work with a great group of guys, Marcus Harvey, who came up with, the concept of the Musa Layer. Mm-hmm. Great guy, great individual.
Mm-hmm.
Loda Barber, Cuts by Kane, Chris Donato Smith, Grim, Tone, Madison, who's here from New Jersey. I mean, they're all wonderful human beings. So being able to go into an establishment, make a couple dollars out of it, solve the tax problem, and then meet wonderful people daily, it's exciting.
But it's not just a barbershop. Like, it literally looks like a gallery in there. What was like the motivation behind that?
I mean, a grooming gallery. So you're there to get groomed, but art is beautiful. You know what I mean? It gives your spot character. If you go in there from the TV, it's different. It's gold, it's a gold frame around it. The art makes the shop stand out. It's a business loft. So took a plain white room and turned it into something with character, with a lot of vintage sheetings and different things like that. Even the booths and everything, they're all classic and vintage. So it was just something to make it look cool, to give it that different pop, because it's a barbershop on every corner.
Very true. And that's what kind of makes it different. But because it's a gallery, I'm sure you had to source different art from different people in Atlanta, where we are now.
Yes.
Did that kind of get you into the art and entertainment world even more, or? I
mean, art is one of those things that I don't care who you are. If it's beautiful, you're going to like it. So, naturally, I like it. I'm artsy. I'm kind of creative, so naturally, I like it, but it didn't help me bridge the gap, between the entertainment or production at all. Mm-hmm. It was just a look that we wanted to achieve.
Speaking of bridging the gap, so there is this amazing description of you in Atlanta magazine. You walked over to T.I. and you said, we need to focus on bridging the gap between millennials. And I guess the project that you're working on, you need to figure out a way to bridge that gap.
Yeah.
And that's kind of my weird segue into the producer in you. Talk to me a little bit about why you decided to get into production and when that bug kind of bit you.
Yeah. So I've always wrote a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I've always enjoyed movies and television. Then I had the opportunity to, meet some wonderful stars and talent. And I don't know, it just, came up with a concept for an unscripted um, TV talk show that
Mm-hmm.
got a lot of buzz and got picked up. And just as I was going out into LA and meeting different people, it was like, okay, this one concept was sold and was like, yo, I don't want to just do this one time.
You
I
want to
want
keep
to,
doing it.
yeah, I want to keep doing it. So that's when I decided, instead of just having that one concept get picked up, develop Mansa Productions, and it's kind of been,
You
great
took
for me.
off. Yeah.
A little bit.
Mansa Productions put out A Father's Love
Yeah.
with Terrell Hill, who
Yeah.
I've interviewed before.
Yeah. Great guy.
He's an amazing talent. Talk to me a little bit about that 19-minute short film that touches on teenage love and the topic of abortion.
Yeah. I mean, tough topic, but me, real good friend of mine, Jesse Escher, it's like my little brother. We knew that we wanted to produce stuff, but when you go to like different meetings and you go to different things, it sucks to always say, yeah, we got XYZ coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And then they see you 6 months later, you still got something coming out. You know what I mean? So I was like, yo, we need to actually do something. When I decided I wanted to get into it, his team took the time to take me to all the film festivals, Essence Fest, different things I had never experienced, to be honest. So, and to experience it from their lens, it was super cool. It was just started networking with different people, and then I saw the opportunity to be able to, again, bridge the gap, to take these wonderful talents, take my ability to fundraise and do business and, combine the two. So that's what I was able to do. And I had a couple dollars in my pocket, and I had an idea while I was on the plane that I sent over to Jesse, like, hey, you remember that ABFF you took me to? I want to go back next year. I actually kind of told him that I had talked to ABFF before I had actually talked to him.
Or you put it in the atmosphere.
I put it in the atmosphere. The creator and owner, Jeff Friday, I don't know why he gave me his number. Mm-hmm. So I know he didn't know who I was when I texted him, but I was like, yo, I got this amazing story with the cast, it's pretty much almost done. We want to put it in your festival. Mm-hmm. And he linked me with somebody, and from there started speaking to the lady Lamonia, and she kind of listened. And then I was like, we really got to shoot this thing now, because I told him we got this, we got to do it. So I wrote the concept. And then Jesse was like, yo, I got a good friend named Alan Maldonado, who's an excellent writer. Mm-hmm. He's on The Last OGs, hilarious, and like I said, just talented, So we went over to his house, and we was at his house for about 4 hours, and just going over it. And when I gave him the concept, he like, man, I went through something like this. So it was really easy for him to write the concept. Mm-hmm. We kind of just all kept, thumbing through it. They would write a draft. I mean, the first draft was awesome, but naturally you go through about 6-7 drafts.
Of course.
And then we started, attaching people. We attached, thought it would be cool. Ron Rico said, I want to direct. Mm-hmm. So he always tell everybody no. And I'm like, if you want to direct, if you keep telling everybody no,
people gonna stop asking.
Yeah, nobody gonna ask you. So he was like, man, you right. Hey, the next person that asks me, I'm gonna say yes. And I just so happen to be that person. And being that, we do have a pretty good relationship, friendship, he said yes, and we was able to make it happen. And then we just started signing on the people we knew that we wanted to make this project happen.
That's bomb. ABFF, the Emerging Director Showcase in Miami. Just a whole lot of like Black star power, and with this whole thing that they're calling the Black Renaissance happening, how did you feel to be like caught up in that?
I mean, I'm still caught up in it.
Yeah, you're still in it.
Actually caught up in it so much that the 2 projects that I'm producing now probably aren't considered Black, because we need a little diversity with this Black Renaissance, because I don't want to just be, typecasted as a Black producer.
Oh, I was just having a conversation with a group of Black people, of course. What's wrong with that?
I mean, it's just, I mean, it's easy to take somebody that probably looks like me, that's a little, you know, rougher around the edges than most of the people you see in my space, and they'll say, okay, they automatically think gonna always put out films like Cross Redemption or Father's Love that only has Black talent. But I mean, currently producing a project right now called Percy with Christopher Walken and Christina Ricci, going into another project hopefully soon here in November. That's, I mean, pretty much an all Caucasian cast.
Oh, wow.
Called Human Capital. That I'm not allowed to really talk about that one too much. Because we haven't even started production yet.
It's okay, I got a name. All I need is like a little bit of an exclusive and I'm fine. I'm happy.
So yeah, I mean, it's just easy to say. I mean, money is green. So to say that I'm only gonna produce Black or white or Mexican or, you know, minority films, it makes zero sense because all colors watch movies and TV. So
very true.
Why not put out a product that caters to all people?
Very true. The festival circuit, what has it taught you?
It's taught me a lot. I mean, it's just, that's the thing that gets you sold. It's the thing that gets you notoriety. It's the thing that gets people asking what's next. It's the thing that gets buzz around your next project. So, I mean, it's taught me that we need to hit the festivals often. Percy, the thing I like about it is we're aiming for Sundance and TIFF. You know, we're going on an Oscar, you know, chase there. So to go to these different festivals and to be able to go to major festivals, you know, so early in our career and early in the game is just, it's an amazing feeling. Yeah, for real.
Just keeping our convo a little bit around Black television. Do you watch Insecure?
I do. I like a lot of people on that cast. So yeah,
I'm glad you said I do, because some creators try to act like they don't watch TV, and that like really like grinds my gears. If you would have said you didn't watch Insecure, I would have judged you. Like,
nah, I'm on like episode 2 of this season, so I've seen all the previous seasons, so I'm a little behind. But yeah, so I can't talk much about.
Okay. So I won't give away the season.
Yeah, because I do want to catch. I do want to catch. You know,
I won't give away the season. But what do you think about a lot of people kind of calling for more content like Insecure, but from the lens of like a Black male?
Yeah, I mean, Issa, I mean, she paved the way for people to just give different aspects and different views.
Definitely.
She was able to do something that a lot of people don't do, you know, coming from YouTube with Awkward Black Girl, and to switch it over to an HBO series and take it to where, I mean, she's on everything.
It's crazy.
Like, you know what I mean? And constantly creating more. I mean, it's a must, you know. I'm sure Will Packer, those guys are on it. We're definitely on it. We got, being a young Black male, gotta give something from my perspective or my point of view, or get behind a project that shows my perspective and my point of view. Because
it's definitely a void, right?
In my opinion, you know, but I'm not one of those people that say they don't watch TV. I mean, if I'm sitting down, which is not that often, but if I'm sitting down, I want to catch, because these people are now, you know, my peers. I want to see their work. I want to be able to say, when they say, yo, that was good, what you did, you want to be able to return the same compliment. Like,
and mean it. Yeah. Because you can easily just give a fake compliment and be like, yeah.
Yeah, but if you get caught in that, then at the end of the day, you're one of the worst people in the world.
That's so true.
So,
yes.
Yeah, it ain't worth it. If I haven't seen it, I'll just say, yo, really nice to meet you. You know.
That's a good piece of advice, I guess. How is it like doing a film fest in Miami? You're supposed to be working, but it's like Miami at the same time.
I mean,
do you have like discipline?
I mean, no matter where I'm at, I mean, honestly, I'm sitting here thinking about my phone now, you know, like, what am I missing? You know what I mean? So I'm wheels are constantly turning on. What's next? What are we doing? You know, when you're in a position to where people are constantly asking you questions for, you know, your yes or no, you can't stop working. And then working with, you know, the production side, and then being a manager to, you know, a real life global superstar is not
Dwight
stop.
Howard, everyone. Dwight Howard.
Yeah, so it's not stop.
A lot of NBA players are getting into content.
Yeah, Steph. Bron is already there.
Yes.
Dwight.
Yes. So talk a little bit about your relationship with Dwight Howard and how he's connected to you, not only as a business manager, but he invested in your production company as well, correct?
Yeah. So, big fella's good friend. I've been rocking for a few years now, and he was in transition with his team. His team of people that manages his day to day. At the same time, he agreed to invest in Mansa Productions. So we just spent a lot of time over the summer just going over things, and then the more we talked, the more I realized, like, yo, this is a really, really smart guy. He has an idea of things that he wants to invest in, and he has a vision. So once we talked about our visions and we saw that they both, was in the same,
kind of lined up a little bit. Yeah,
they aligned. The stars aligned, and we figured out that we could be one of the very, very few, tandems that's able to, do something in the NBA world and the Hollywood world at the same time. Other than, Steph and Maverick and LeBron, you don't get the opportunity to create and rub shoulders with people that can help you get any, content you want to create off the ground.
Very true. What do you think kind of about the whole shut up and color thing with LeBron earlier? I think it was like last year, right? Or like earlier this year. And then now it's like he's creating all this amazing content and literally having conversations.
Yeah, and then every time I see him, he got on a more than an athlete, merchandise and different things. I mean, LeBron is I grew up in Akron, Ohio with him. He did what every player should do. He surrounded himself with guys that not only had great visions but had his best interests at hand.
Definitely.
And I mean, those 4 or 5 guys was able to create something that every player, really strives or hopes for. Because playing 82 games, you don't have time to, like, we get up and check our account to see if our $17 is missing.
You don't have time to, watch your back and check your business.
Yeah. So, and when you got a few million, you're not going to always notice, 1,000. And once a few thousand keeps getting taken, now you got a lot missing,
Very true.
So, LeBron did an excellent job of just doing what you're supposed to do as an athlete, and not only protecting, his team, but protecting himself and everybody around him.
Definitely. That's enough LeBron talk, though. I'm a Curry fan. For those of you who don't know, before we started the interview, I said I have on my Curry socks. They're my good luck socks to ensure this was a great interview, and I was slandered a little bit. I didn't like it.
I like Steph a lot. I like Steph a lot. People tell me I look like him often, so I can't just dislike him. But I grew up with LeBron, and I work with Dwight, so those are your guys.
Yeah, we get it. Being aligned again with such big names, T.I., Usher, Dwight, like, does that put a different kind of pressure on you? I know you already said you were pressured because, like, you kind of have, like, people that you're responsible for and making sure they're paid and fed, and you know that's a pressure. But being kind of aligned with those big names who have achieved so much, and you're still young, like, does that put a pressure on you?
Nah, I mean, because they still people, you know what I mean? I put pressure on myself to deliver no matter what I'm doing. So, I mean, the fact that they just people, like, it's so many talented people in the world. They're just people that got picked, they got that audition. Not saying that it wasn't 50 other people that was great in it. They just are the people that's really mastered and had the business minds around them, had the whatever it takes to get an agency behind you, to get, you name it, and the stars just align. I feel like we are the same. So I never feel a pressure from who anybody is. I just put a pressure on myself to make sure that anything that I do that is done in excellence and that it's not a loss. I only believe in profits. Not saying that that's 100% the case, but more times than not, it is the case. So, definitely. And I think that's the thing that's able to help people get behind, my vision, and then it becomes our vision, and then we're able to make it happen with a great team. You're able to, and more minds manifesting or putting it in the atmosphere, praying for that success. it's inevitable.
Definitely. Talk about Mansa Musa. If you guys weren't able to put that together, I'm ashamed of you. Like, I'm ashamed. When did you first kind of learn about him and discover him?
So I learned about him a long time ago, but naturally when I went and got my haircut from Marcus and I saw the Musa Lair, we just started talking and we started just comparing facts, you know what I mean? So I knew a lot about him, he knew a lot about him, and we would talk about it. He just had already had the Musa Lair in there. And then once I, invested in that, it was natural that when I was, doing different things and I said, dang, Mansa means king. I feel like I'm a king. So naturally, it came from there. But Mansa Musa, I mean, he was the richest man to ever walk the earth, and nobody, put it in the history books, possibly, or not even possibly, probably, because he was black.
Definitely.
But not only did he have a lot of wealth, he created mosques, he created schools, he gave so much money away that, it completely ruined
inflation.
It completely ruined the value of gold. To give away that much is just, who wouldn't admire it? So anything that I do, I want to make sure that I won't lie. Anybody that knows me, those closest to me, probably would say, yeah, Kell's probably driven by money, but I'm also driven by money to make sure that I can give out a lot. I can help a lot of people. I want to employ 20 people, 20 more people than we already do now. I want to be able to do enough movies to have crews of 100, more than 5 to 7 times a year. Want to be able to have that type of, impact. So in order to do so, gotta have a Mansa Musa mentality. And that's what I got.
Do you think in 100 years someone will be naming their businesses after you and splitting your name up and doing the same thing?
I don't know. That ain't. I could talk about our businesses all day, but when it comes to talking about myself, I clam up. It ain't really, it's just not. It's not easy.
Yeah.
But I hope somebody look at me and say, I do want to carry, forward like he did, or I do want to carry myself and provide the different opportunities that he was able to do. So, that would be a blessing.
That'd be cool, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let us know any projects you have coming up that you can speak about.
So Percy, we just wrapped in Winnipeg. We'll be finishing that up in India. Again, that's the movie with Christina Ricci, Christopher Walken. Right now, Cross of Redemption with Omar Epps, T.I.
Omar Epps wrote that, right?
Yeah, Omar wrote it. Michael Rappaport, a lot of different guys that we have signed. I don't know if I'm allowed to even talk about that, so... Yeah.
We can stop there.
Yeah.
I got Michael Rappaport, that's all I needed. That was nowhere else, so...
Yeah, so, and... couple projects that I'm just looking at right now that we get about 40 to 50 submissions per week.
Wow.
So I've been blessed to kind of have some capital to help, some of these emerging directors.
You sift through that yourself?
A lot. So yeah, I read a lot.
Okay.
I would say I definitely at least see about 25 to 30.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I'm starting to pass some of them on because some are really, really good and some are really, really bad. Okay. And when they're really bad, you can't get that time back, so I'm starting to learn. I learned quickly, after page 10, if you're not really drawn, then just let it go.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for sitting down with me today. Let everyone know where they can follow you and find you on social.
So at the Kellon Akeem on Instagram. Also, the business is at mproductions.co. I don't look at that stuff much, so I often forget. Twitter, I think all the same. Facebook, my name, Kellon Akeem. I think that's about it.
We'll write it down for you at the end.
Yeah, not saying, but social now, getting that we have a wonderful person, Kamisha, that handles that. She does a great job, so I barely look at it. So if she changed my name, I wouldn't even know it.
You would have no idea.
Yeah.
That's wild. That's wild.